Hello and welcome! This character profile video is for the class Yacha! And what you'll see is all of his skills, the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend, his skill combos, enhancements, player card, and a gameplay video. So, without further ado, I give you the class Yacha! Here we go. And welcome to the skills slide. If this is your first time with my character profile videos, allow me to introduce the interface. On the left hand side is all of his skills. On the far right hand side is all the specials that go with those skills. And then the column charges is how many times you can use the skill. And hits is how many times the skill will hit a creature or opponent, your opponent's character. And then damage-PVE is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against a creature in the world. And damage-PVP is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against another player's character. And of course you have the passive at the bottom. So a few things to explain. In the special section, you see where it says super armor and it's colored red and invincible too, and you look at the legend at the bottom left corner, it just means those things, the super armor and the invincible, it doesn't apply when you go into arena. Everywhere else in the game it will work and it'll be fine, just not in arena. And if you look on the left hand side where you see the word eagle drop and lights out and even unshackled colored green, those two skills connect to the passive. And if you look at eagle drop and lights out and go all the way over to the right, you'll see the word unshackled, which is in green, and it tells you what it does. So these two skills have everything to do with how your passive works, and we'll get into the details of that in the PvP slide. But for now, take a moment to look at all this, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the top 8 PvE skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvE slide. What I've done is I've taken all the skills and I've organized them according to the column of damage-PVE, from the highest percentage at the top all the way down to the lowest at the bottom. And the skill Eagle Drop is your highest damaging skill. So we've covered basically everything with the skill slide. On the PvE slide, the only thing left to say is the reason why those 8 skills are colored green is because we can only take 8 skills into the game world at a time. So these are chosen because you have the highest at the top all the way to Fiery Plume, which is the lowest of those. When you get comfortable with these skills, and even trying out Spirit Howl, Hell Smash, that's your standard Guard Brace Mastery, and even adding in Soul Fusion, your heal, you'll see which ones you like and which ones you want to go with. But for now, if you're asking me which ones are the best ones to choose to get used to, it would be those. So take a moment to look at all this, and when you're ready, we will move on to the top 8 PvP skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvP slide. So we have a lot to cover on this section, and let's go ahead and just knock out the basics. What I've done is taken all the skills and I've organized them according to the column of damage-PVP, from the highest percentage at the top all the way down to the lowest at the bottom. And Eagle Drop remains the highest percentage damaging skill that you have for PvP. Now, the second thing is, everyone that does PvP wants to know, hey, what super armor do I have that I can use in arena as well as in the game world, because I don't want to mess with what I can and can't and all that mess. And you have 3 skills that give you super armor, and the first one is the best one, Lights Out. Not only is it connected to your passive, it is your second highest damaging skill, and then there is Feral Rage, and the one all the way towards the bottom which is Hell Smash. So you have 3 to choose from, but I would recommend going with Lights Out, and then going into Eagle Drop, maybe collapsing Sweep and Feral Rage, and then coming back to Lights Out to refresh your super armor. Your choice, but just a suggestion. So these are your top 8 that I would recommend, and now let us get into the passive. So I reworded a few things so that it's easier to understand, but I'm going to read it to you. Upon using the skills Eagle Drop or Lights Out, when the skills above are 80 MP, you will consume all your MP to activate your passive for 5 seconds. So quite honestly, someone who plays Yacha needs to really plan out those 5 seconds when you're fighting a creature, or especially an opponent in arena. You want to make that count. So maybe it's Lights Out with super armor, you're activating your passive for 5 seconds, and you hit them with Eagle Drop in those 5 seconds would be a good use of your passive. Now, what you also get when it's active is you recover 15 MP, you have damage against monsters, 10% greater. It's like a 10% buff against monsters. You have a buff of minus 30% damage in PVP affecting you. So if you're in a group activity that is PvP related, like Battle of the Sun, and your passive is active and someone hits you, you'll take 30% less damage for 5 seconds. You have also your skill damage at 150%. So in other words, if you look at Lights Out and you see that it says Unshackled, we're coming to the details now, add 150% on top of 1,402% for PvP. So you have 1,552% for PvP when your passive is active. Not bad. And your range, that's the next one, is increased by 10%. Of course, this also means you won't be able to crit when this happens. So higher damage output, not able to crit. When you're out of your passive, you'll be able to get those crits in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut to a video where I show you what your passive looks like when it's active. So just give me 1 second. I'm going to fire that up for us and we'll get right over to it. Here we go. And here we go. So what I've done is I've taken the skill Eagle Drop and Lights Out. Just those two to illustrate your passive and what it looks like. We're going to beat up these spiders in the background. But I want you to see that my mana bar, the blue bar, is already past 80. So whatever skill I choose, it's going to activate your passive. And this is what it looks like for 5 seconds. And now it's gone. And as you can see, doing the other one, Lights Out, no passive. So you're waiting to build up that 80, and there it is. It's back for 5 seconds. So what it looks like is you simply need to choose one and then do the other one for, I think it was 3 times. And on the 3rd time, you'll get it. But it just depends on how quickly you can build up your blue bar back up to 80 again. And then you can count on activating your passive. So we're just gonna clean up a few things here. And I also wanted to show that it goes both ways. So your passive is active for Eagle Drop, and you're trying Lights Out. That was the first time. And the second time, well, maybe I was wrong. But you do need to make sure that your blue bar is at 80 before you can get it again. So with that being said, let's go ahead and return back to the PvP slide. And yeah, sorry he's not looking straight ahead. He's a very focused guy. Here we go, we're returning. And welcome back to the PvP slide. So that is how your passive works. As you can see, you really want to get comfortable with Yacha and what he can do, and then work in your passive, because you'll definitely be wanting to be creative with how you use those 5 seconds and that damage buff that you definitely can do. So take a moment to look at everything, and when you're ready, we're going to move on to the skill combo slide. Here we go. And welcome to the skill combo slide. So before we get into what you're looking at, let us tell you how to get there in the game. If you are in the game and there's gameplay, go ahead and bring up the menu and then look all the way over to the right where it says skills, and tap on that square, and now you're on the skills screen. Now look over to the middle of the screen and down, and you'll see an icon that looks like a magnifying glass with a circle around it, and it'll say skill combos to the right of it. Tap on that and you'll bring this up. It's a window that says list of skill combos. Unfortunately, you will need to scroll up and down to read all of this. So what I've done is I've taken it and put it all on one screen. So I highly recommend you print it out, maybe do the black and white printout of this, and don't waste a lot of color, because that's a lot of color. But or if you're playing this game on an emulator, you can have it on another monitor to look at while you enjoy Yacha. But this is beefy. Pearl Abyss gave you a huge amount of skill combos to enjoy, and I think it might take the record for the most amount of skill combos. So let's tell you how it works. On the left hand side, there is a skill in blue. That's what you start with. So let's look at the top left corner where it says Spirit Burst. So you would do that skill, and then you would chain into 3 options: Eagle Drop, Lights Out, or Hell Smash. So your choice on what you do, and that is one combo from Spirit Burst to what you choose, which would probably be Eagle Drop, because it's the highest damaging one. But as you can see right below Spirit Burst, it continues. So if you do Spirit Burst to Eagle Drop, then look down and you've done Eagle Drop in blue, now it says go into Lights Out. And if you look further down on this list where it says Lights Out in blue, now it says do Collapsing Sweep. And I think, oh no, Collapsing Sweep is done. So go up, look up to the Collapsing Sweep in blue, and then go to Eagle Drop. And I could probably keep going on this. So it looks like a never-ending loop of a combo, which is great for you. So this is how it works. You don't have to do the chain that I told you. You can personalize it any way you want, but the blue is where you start, and it chains into the gray on what you would want to choose next. So now that you know how this works, take a moment to look at it, and when you're ready, we're going to move on to the enhancement slide. Here we go. And welcome to the enhancement slide. If this is your first time looking at this slide, allow me to introduce the interface. On the left hand side is all of his skills. On the far right hand side is the branch damage connected to those skills. And then there's 4 columns in the center. The first, second, and fourth I make to be things that help Yacha. The third column is things that affect the creature or player's character you are fighting. And sometimes it just doesn't turn out that way, but that's the basic layout. I mean, you can obviously see that Feral Rage is going in from the first column into the second column. And I guess an example of where the whole flow of it doesn't quite work is look above Feral Rage, Infernal Burst, and look over to the right. You see in the third column how it says target attack speed minus 5% for 5 seconds? Well, look right next to it to the right. Crit chance minus 5% for 5 seconds on hit. That's not what happens to Yacha. That's what happens to the creature or opponent that you are fighting. That's what happens to them, and it's a negative thing. And that's great for you and bad for them. So, now that you know the layout of how this works, allow me to cover the most obvious thing. The enhancements, if you go to your skills screen and you tap on one of the skills and you look to the immediate left, you'll see the icon for that skill, and then these circles around it. Those are enhancements for that skill. So if we take, say, the very first one, Spirit Burst, and you tap on it, you'll see 2 circles. One that will be plus 20 defense for 10 seconds, and the other one is the crit chance, plus 5% for 10 seconds on the first hit. You need to unlock all of these enhancements. Now, some will be easily unlocked with silver. You just pay some silver and unlock it. Others have a red number next to it, indicating a level you need to reach for that skill to unlock it with silver, and now it's yours. How do you do that? In the game world of Elion, you fight regular mobs or creatures, and you get these books, skill books. You pay silver to learn it, and you increase in level for that skill. And when you say, I think it's like 2 or 3 books in, which would be easy to get, supposedly, and you will get there, and you'll be able to pay the silver, unlock the enhancement, and it's yours. But the books are random, so you just farm normally, you'll get your books, and if you're higher level and you're fighting in Hadum, they come in treasure chests, and they're a higher quality of skill book. They're like gold. So take a moment to look at all this. And one more thing to mention, if I was playing Yacha, I would go after Feral Rage and that flow, because that's impressive. And the thing about Yacha that is one of his strengths, I'll go into more detail in the player card, which is coming up next, is you don't see it, but the enhancements improve the amount of times he hits a creature or opponent. Like take Infernal Burst, that skill normally hits 2 times, but if you unlock the flow, now it's going to hit 3 times. And Feral Rage, that skill normally hits 3 times, but if you unlock that flow, not only do you get all those things, but it hits 4 times. So you're doing a lot more hits with your Yacha, and that's the goal, is to unlock all of this and be so much stronger than you currently are. So one more time. Oh shoot, I almost forgot. On Feral Rage, if you look all the way over to the far right, you'll see the word heal, 230 hit points per hit. Yes, when you unlock that, he will heal anytime you use this skill. But the reason the word heal is colored gold is because it doesn't apply in Path of Glory. So he won't heal himself, but outside of Path of Glory, and you have this unlocked, yes, he will heal himself every time Feral Rage is used. So, once again, take a moment to look at all this. I know it was a lot of information, but let's go ahead and move on to the player card. Here we go. And welcome to the player card. It is like a baseball card. It is all of the slides you previously saw all on one screen. And there's something new on here as well. If you are familiar with my player card section, then you know that whenever a new character comes out, or maybe a character that you're interested in, you can simply come into my videos, zip all the way over to the player card, and see exactly what they have and what they can do, and get an idea. Even if you're pressed for time, you can print this out. Black and white would probably be good. That's a lot of color, but print it out, take a look at it, And then when you're ready for all the details of that character, come back and listen. So let's show you how this works. At the top is the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommended, and to the right of that is something new. It's called Immobilization. Anytime your character stuns, knocks down the opponent or creature, freezes them, bound, anything that takes the creature or opponent and hits them on the ground or in the air, they are immobilized. They need to spend animation to get straight and be ready to fight again. So that's your cue to get in extra hits. Now, looking at that section, it's do you have an immobilization? It's a yes for green and red for no. And if you do, how many do you have? And I am pleased to tell you another strength of Yacha is his immobilizations. He's got probably the record 5 skills that have 2 immobilizations. That's rare because not every character has that. They'll be lucky if they have just about all of their skills with some sort of immobilization and it's just 1. But he's got 5 that are 2 immobilizations, and then the rest of his skills rounded out to 1 each. Now, his Guard Brace Mastery and his Soul Fusion will never have an immobilization because the Guard Brace Mastery is his basic standard attack, and the Soul Fusion is his heal. So it'll just never happen. But this is a section that he is strong in, so be aware if you're fighting against him. Now, you can see on this screen the skills and the enhancements, and there's a few things I want to point out for all you people that are eager to get into Yacha, and that is, let's go back to the enhancements at the bottom. If you look at the enhancement for Hell Smash, you want to unlock the flow in the first column, because if you hold down the button, I mean, Hell Smash, if you look at the skill now, it says that for you grab your opponent for 3 seconds, you know, damage received minus 50 for 3 seconds on grab and bound on grab. But here's the thing, when you unlock that one flow, you hold the button down, you grab them twice. You drag them across the floor, and then when they get up, you grab them again and hold them in the air. I mean, how rewarding is that? I mean, I might want to play Yacha for a while just for that. You already know that he has a lot of multiple hits, and you see that he has a lot of immobilizations, and I'll explain why that's important real soon. But this is a good screen that you can start to see how everything works together. And sure, his damage percentages are nothing compared to, say, you know, a lot of the other characters, but what he does have is very threatening, and you should worry. An AoE, multiple hits, immobilizations, grab you twice? Yeah, that's fun. So he's a very dangerous character. So let's go ahead and go to the bottom. And there's the legend for what's not in Path of Glory and what's not applied in Arena. And then at the bottom is the definition for Forward Guard and Super Armor. And you have a decision to make. Because if you look at Fiery Plume in Enhancements, first column, it says you have the option to remove your Forward Guard and replace it with Super Armor. Now, Forward Guard, this means that incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. So if there's an opponent in front of you, or in front to the right or the left, and they damage you, that damage is going to be 0 or hardly anything, and you'll be laughing all the way to the bank like, yeah, that did nothing. Let me hit you now. But if they jump and get behind you, then the damage to you is regular damage, and your Forward Guard isn't effective anymore. So that's why people might replace that with Super Armor and have another Super Armor option. Now, super armor. This means that incoming damage will be reduced, and the effects that immobilize you, like stun, knockdown, freeze, bound, anything, etc., will not happen for a duration of time. We don't know what that duration is, and Pearl Abyss will never let us know, because they want you to stack all the immobilizations that you have, so you increase the percent chance that you will get one in when your opponent's super armor runs out. And if Yacha can hit you with all 5 of his skills, that does 2 immobilizations, that's 10 immobilizations he's hitting you with. Your super armor is bound to run out, and then you will be like, oh, I need to refresh it. Oh, now I'm on the ground. Why is he doing this to me? Because he's being given the ability to get the percentage high that he'll knock you on your butt. So take a moment to look at all this, and when you're ready, the music is gonna change. We're gonna go to a gameplay video where we show you what Yacha can do. Here we go. And welcome to the gameplay video. Before we get started, let us show you where we're at. We're over here in Balanos, and we're at Kron Castle entrance, and we're here because, well, we always love it here. Their CP is that high, and our CP is much higher. So the way this works is we'll use this auto path, and he'll fight for about 2, maybe 3 minutes, at which time we'll go to town. I'll give my outro and say thank you. So without further ado, I am pleased to present to you Yacha. Here we go. Just about ready to head back to town. There we go. While the loading screen appears, allow me to take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like my videos, please subscribe, like, let people know I am always making more videos, and there are a lot more videos to do. So what we're going to do now is put Yacha in a very good pose or position. We'll just zoom in. Notice the wagon in the background. Poor horse. And let's go ahead and have him give a wave. And just because it's fun, let's have him do a clap to say, you made it to the end of the video. So once again, thank you. Thank you very much, and you have yourself a great day. Take care. Bye now.